Hello everyone, I'm Shawn with Manly Made Minute and welcome back to my channel. It's been a hot minute since I've done something different and done a video, and I decided to do a pre-record because I'm doing my lives too, but I like to throw in a pre-recorded every now and then. So today we are going to go over I started this going over these, and then I missed a month because of work and busy and couldn't catch up. So we're going to get back on track. I am going to go over the Brutus Monroe Inspiration Box. And full disclosure, I did win a full year's prescription to this inspiration box recently at a class in a drawing. So I do get this product for free. I'm also on the design team, but this is aside from my design team duties. I just love these boxes, and I think they're fun. So I do have an affiliate link, and I'll put that in my description below for you. But I thought I'd like to feature these inspiration boxes every month because they're just a great deal for the price. They're like $39.99 a month. You get a 6x8 stamp, a paper pad, some paper, some card bases, and then some sort of product to go with that for the month. So we are going to feature the October inspiration box. I know I'm a little late. My November one's in the mail, so I thought I better knock this out before that gets here. However, this October one is holiday themed, so I thought it would be perfect to get this one in there because these products are still available on the website as well. So I'm super excited. We're going to knock out two cards today. One crazy easy, like a stencil, a sentiment, a card base, and call it a day. So super easy. Then we're going to do what's called a hinge card. And I've modified the measurements just slightly so I could fit a mat in there as well. But we'll go over the measurements of what I modified the gate card that I found just to get an extra mat layer in there. Kind of cool. And we're just kind of doing a case of it and making it my own on the hinge part. So super excited to show you guys. Before I go down to that down camera, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Would love to have you follow me here on YouTube and Instagram. I have card hops, I have design team stuff, I have my normal videos, I do lives, you name it. And would love to have you follow along. And don't forget, smash that thumbs up button if you like what I'm doing. Would love those thumbs up. They do help that algorithm just slightly as well. So would appreciate everything. And let's head down. Let's get started. Okay, so here's the inspiration box contents for October. So the 6x8 stamp is the City Sidewalks stamp set. And it's got an ice skating rink, some ice skaters, snowman and a lady, somebody, it looks like a lady walking a dog, or it could be a guy with long hair. We've got two people throwing snowballs at each other, a street lamp, clouds, snowflakes, and some sentiments, little trees as well. Great stamp set with lots of stamps, full value, right? Then it comes with the Midtown Magic paper pad. Now, I did a live recently for Ben of Monroe with Walter, and we used this paper pad. It's very vintagey, old kind of, New York Christmas kind of feel. Great, great paper pad. This is just an awesome images to this paper pad. So definitely worth the value on that one. I love the vibe of this one. Then it comes with this stencil. Don't mind that it's dirty because I've been playing with it already. Didn't clean it. This is a 6x6, so you can make a square card. We're going to just bring this down to an A2 size card, 5 1/8 by 3 7/8, and then do some matting on it. And you'll see how I do that and then mask it off to do that as well. So great scene. Great options here. We're going to just go one color, like an aqua-ish color all over. You could try to shade out all the green on the trees, black maybe for the shadow of the shadow line of the houses, blue on the snow. Endless possibilities. You could use a chroma paste, you could use a glitter paste, all kinds of stuff. We're just going to do simple ink blending on this today. Then you've got this for cardstock. You've got, and I'm not sure the names of these. So you got a red. This one almost looks like buttercream, and a nice blue. Then you always get the 5 card bases. Then you've got some shimmer paper. Don't mind this in the corner. I was just sampling to see if embossing powder would stick to it, because that's what I'm going to make my rink out of. So you've got 2 pieces of paper here that you could use as your base. You could use, we're going to use either of these actually for the ice skating rink. So really great addition. Okay, let's do my simple card first. Okay, this one we'll be able to knock out in no time. All right, I've got a grip mat in here, and I have a card base that is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Okay? Put that on there. Now, I'm going to take my stencil from the inspiration box, and I'm going to basically center this. And I'm actually centering it with my color that's already on there, which is helpful. But just center it. I went by the peaks of these leaves, and top to bottom overhang is essentially what I went after on this. Okay, stick it down. You could use pixie spray, because this does have some fine detail on it with some pieces that will stick up. So you're going to need pixie spray or something to hold this down. Then I have a masking stencil. And so I took this masking stencil and I evenly distributed this. So I'm looking at my frame here to make sure that it's even as much as possible. Now, you could take masking, you could use tape, you could use 3M Post-it note tape that I've used before. I think I've got a video coming out on that, or did a video on that. That's easy and cheap. You've got Gina K masking magic, all kinds of stuff you could use for this, right? I'm using my, I could tape the edge of this down, but I'm just gonna hold it as well. It's not quite sticking because of the other stencil underneath there, but I'm gonna hold it. All right, now with an extremely light hand, I'm gonna do some aqua-ish kind of color, aqua blue, icy blue kind of color. This is a very inked up pad, so I tap off most of it. I'm talking light hand. I just want this to be very, very subtle. I don't want a heavy ink on this. And if I have to keep going over and over and over it, I'll just keep going over and over and over it to get it to cover. Very light. I won't reload very much when I reload my ink. Watch your direction of your blending so that you don't lift that stamp set up. Or stamp set, I'm sorry. The stencil. So pixie spray would work great with this one. But remember, with pixie spray, it can stick pretty good, and some people struggle with it trying to get it off, and especially getting it off your stencil. Giving it just a little heavy hand now right around the edges. Very light. I actually don't need full coverage. I'm leaving some white spaces in there. Give it that snowy effect. That's it. Super light. Okay. Lift these up. Get this out of the way. Send it brand new. It's actually a Gina K pad that you can use as a stamp. Those background stamps. Love it. It is so cool. Haven't stamped with it yet. All right. Now I've got a nice white border. Love that. And that's what I want to keep. That's what's the intention of this, with just a little picture of that in the middle. Very subtle. Now before I do, I'm going to add some Pearl Shimmer Mist to this, but before I do that, I want to stamp my sentiment on here. Okay? So we've got the city shines brighter with you in it, wishing you the warmth amidst the winter cold. May your days be merry and bright. Walking in a winter wonderland, warm winter wishes to the coolest person I know, wishing you a season of comfort and joy, and you melt my heart. And we're going to go with, I think, wishing you warmth amidst the winter chill. Seems to kind of fit the color and warm in the hills here of this winter wonderland. So we're going to go with this one. And I'm going to line it up. My head always does this, get in the way. I'm going to line it up with that bottom. And I just need to make sure this is straight. So give me 1 sec. I might be off kilter just slightly with my masking. Okay, I've lined that up. We're just going to pick that up. Now you could emboss this sentiment. You could just use the same color and go darker, which actually might be kind of cool. I think I'm going to do that, actually. I was going to go black, but it'd be kind of cool just to go now dark with that same color and do a tone on tone. And we're gonna we're going to do that very lightly. I'm going to have to do this just several times because that ink pad is very juiced up, and so I don't want to overdo it. And because it's very small print, I'm not going to push too hard to distort it. And get some of that off because I just overdid it a little bit on some spots. That amidst is kind of getting, all right, you needs just a little bit more. I actually kind of like that. I'll get this close up for you so you can kind of see it. I love that tone on tone. So we're gonna shimmer mist this, and I think I actually might add, I think I have, let me see. I might have some aqua-ish, actually that would work. Pearls, I don't want pearls. We're gonna add a little bling to this as well. Ooh, right there. And I actually think I might like those better though. I could do aqua, or I got these little shimmery that get a little extra color there, so we're gonna do those. All right, let me spray and dry. Get this cleaned off. Think about how many cards you could make these in bulk. How easy that is, right? If you're a beginner card maker, this is so easy. So easy with the stencil. Comes in the inspiration box. You're not having to buy anything extra for your stash and try to figure out what to buy to do this. It comes with the stencil. All you're doing is masking and ink blending very lightly. Little Pearl Shimmer Mist from Brutus Monroe on there as well. Love me my Shimmer Mist. I could, distress shimmers would look fantastic with some mica on here. Give that a little dry. I'm going to add some bling to those dots, and then I'm going to add 4 pieces of bling in the corners to make it look like it is buttoned onto its base, is basically my thought process behind it. It'd be like putting rads, I think they're called, on the corners. All right, nice and dry. That shimmers, those shimmers and those micas dry up really easy. So, okay, let's just add a little bit of bling to these. These are perfect for this. Not silver. I like these almost pinkish bluish ones, clear. And we're just gonna go some small ones. So let's see if I can pick this up with the pick. I'm just, not everyone, I'm just gonna do random on here. Random. And we're going to go a couple different sizes. So I'm going approximately the size of the dot. That's on here. And because these stick so much, I'm trying to get it with my pick. It eats up the other end too much. So how fun are some of these cards, right? These are cards that you can just take and add stuff to this from your stash, right? So I had the inspiration box, but now I'm adding stuff from my stash to jazz these up outside of what it comes with. All right, you little bugger. Come on, you little bugger. It won't unstick. There we go. Now see if I can get it off my fingers. Well, for Pete's sake, this one's just not wanting to play here today. There we go. Good grief. Play with me here. Come on. cooperate. These were just packs from Amazon, I'm going to be honest. Multi-pack, whole bunch of different colors with the different sizes in each color. And I'm just going to match now to the other side. That way it's even too. It doesn't have to be even, but I'll go symmetrical on this one, which is not like me to really care how symmetrical it is. Perfect. I was going to say, now this size is the one that wouldn't cooperate with me. Got that one up. Shouldn't speak too soon. I've got this one to go, right? There we go. Come on. Perfect. And then we got one small one up atop. Beautiful. I just love the simplicity of this. Here's what I did to mat it. I've got an aqua color base, and then I have some black. I'm not going to pop any of this up on dimensionals because I just left a small enough border to give me a little taste of a peekaboo color. So by adding dimensionals, you're not gonna see much of that border anyway on those two. Whoop. Schmucked that one a little too hard. Okay. This one, however, I could, but I don't think I want to. And I don't think I'm going to add my 4 in the corner because I think that is plenty. I don't need to overdo it. We're going to scratch that idea. We're not going to add those in the corner to make it look like it's tacked down because I think I have enough bling so I don't lose the simplicity of that. I'm going to stand up so I can center this without getting my head in there too bad. A little extra glue, but that's okay. Wipe that off. Look at how simple and beautiful that is. What an easy card. All right. Get this up and close. You can see the sentiment. Tone on tone color just went darker, right? Full on color. Very light version of that same exact ink with my stencil. Add a little bling in the sky and you have a card. This would mass produce so easy. Okay, let's start our gatefold. So your gatefold. We're going to cut my base here first. My base, I'm going to use the blue paper that came with the inspiration box. Make some room here. So for your card base, you need 11 inches by 4 1/4. So we've got 11. We're going to cut 4 1/4. Like so. Okay. Then step that aside. To score it, we are going to score this at 5 1/2. And that's where it folds. It's going to fold this way. Okay, and it's going to be sideways this way. Now, on the 5 1/2 side, I need to trim off 1 1/4 off of my front flap, or what will be my front flap. But keep it. Do not throw that away. You're going to need it. So we're going to cut 1 1/4. I'm going to go this way just to make sure. 1 1/4. Keep that. That's my front. This is going to be my hinge. Okay? And then on the hinge, you're going to score at 1/2 inch going this way. So I need 1/2. Like so, and that'll fold over. Okay? Keep that. Now for my pattern paper. I took and chose this image out of that Midtown Magic paper pad because I thought it had a nice icy kind of feel. Could I be ice skating here? Because we're going to do some ice skating stamping. Okay. Now this needs to be in orientation 5 inches by that 4 1/4 high. So I need to go, I'm going to keep as much of that tree as I can. So I'm going to take off, let me make sure here, 5. So I'm going to take off 1 inch off of this side. So I want to keep that Christmas tree. Okay. And then I need to do 3 3/4. And I'm going to keep this bottom because I want as much as this road. So I'm going to take off some sky. So I need 3 3/4. 3 3/4. Double check my measuring. Okay, those pieces I can set aside, and this is my card base front. Okay, now I need to cut down a 1 inch piece off of this right hand side. Okay, so cut 1 inch. 1 inch. I'm double checking my measurements before I cut. Trim off 1 inch like so. And now you're going to keep those 2 pieces. Then, because I modified mine so I could add in some glitter cardstock. I'm using some glitter shimmer paper. It's not Brutus Monroe, so it is Cardstock Warehouse, I believe. This one needs to be, I need one at 5 1/4 by 4. So I'm going to go 5. Actually, we're just going to go 4 so I can save as much of my paper. So 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, so this is 5 1/4 by 4. I'm going to sliver off now a 1 1/4 piece off of this. So 1 1/4 off. There we go. This becomes my mat for that. This becomes my mat for this. And it's just not quite, I'm off just slightly. So I'm going to take off just a little bit off of the one side here to even that out. There we go. So this actually ends up being 3 3/4. That's right. So 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. And then that fits nice on there. Then we've got this piece that'll go over here. Perfect. Okay. Boom, boom. Done with those. Now I need a white inside. So we're gonna go 5 1/4 by 4. So 4 and 5 1/4. And this becomes my inside. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, let's see here, I think this will go here, correct? Yes, yes. Okay, we're going to glue this first before we stamp and color. So this piece goes on the inside like so. But before you do that, you're going to attach your hinge. Okay, so now my hinge, that little flap goes on the back side, just center it like so. And then this becomes the inside. This is a fun little card. Okay, that's your inside. Now we will put these two together. This should be the Christmas tree little portion, because this just extends that scene. So it's like a full scene card too, which is kind of what I did when we did this for Brutus Monroe. I did a scenery card and tried to keep as much of that scene as I possibly could. And this one goes right here on this flap, inside flap. And I just put it right over that edge of that white, match it up, and line it up like so. This will close. glue these two pieces together, and then this goes on the top. And then we'll add the elements here that I'm going to stamp and color that'll go on the hinge. So now the hinge is where you would typically make a strip to go on the front of that hinge and add your sentiment, and that would be your card. I am going to take and add the ice skaters to that to make my card. Center that. What a great little card, right? Perfect little card. Okay, so let's see. Now, I want to stamp out a couple things. Let's take our sentiment out of here. Put that back. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to take this ice rink and I'm going to use, I thought it would be cool to use this etched paper so it looks almost like the lines of where the skates were. Okay, all I need to do, I'm going to emboss the ice skating rink on here in black. That's why I have that black little piece right there, because I was testing this out to see that it would stick to this shiny paper. And it did. It did. I'm just going to give this a little bit of powder, because it could stick here quite a bit to this. And prime that. All right. Little bit of Versamark. And I'm gonna, you can't hardly see this unless you kind of look to the side. I can kind of see where it's imprinting and sticking. So I just want to make sure I got a good impression, because you can't really see it real clear on this shiny paper. All right. I'm going to use my Raven. I'm only using Brutus Monroe since it's the inspiration box. It is not a design team video. Use the black you have. Use, if you've got black, use it. Like, okay, let's just emboss this. Good and hot, so I don't have to hold this to this shiny paper, because I don't know if it'll melt this shiny paper or not. So emboss it relatively quick once you got it good and hot. And there's your ice skating rink, right? We'll fussy cut that out so that we can add our skaters to it. Okay. Let's do a little fussy cutting. Anybody do the fussy cutting day? I did not have time. I was actually on the road for work, and I didn't even do a video for it or anything. And I should have, but that's how it goes. Yeah, and feel free to leave me a comment below. Like, do you have an inspiration box from another company? Or monthly kit, monthly box, whatever they call them. They're all different. Do you like it? Do you feel it's a value? This is the first one I've ever gotten, or I've never purchased one. I have purchased mystery kits and things from like Gina K and stuff, and loved it. For the value and everything I got, I was just shocked. So yeah, I have done those types of things. I don't have monthly prescriptions. I have some ideas that I would like to do for getting one, or a couple maybe, of the companies I like, and want to build my stash. So it's also a good stash builder when you do these, especially if you like a company and their stamps. Really good stash builder. All right, we're just gonna stamp out my little cutesies skating here with their little ice skates on. What a cute stamp set. And I'm just gonna stamp this with some let's just do, yeah, I'm gonna use Versamart. I'm gonna just do some colored pencils with this. Nothing fancy, keep it simple. Well, that's a one and done, I think. Let's just give it a tiny little tap. That's stamped out nice, actually. Very nice. All right, give that a little dry before I put my Prismacolored pencils to it. I'm just going to do very simple, very, very simple coloring to this. And I'll zoom in as I color so you can kind of see this. All right. So, I think it would be fun. Let's give Madam over here a little pink puffy coat. And I'm just going to use 2 shades of pink so I can just do a little bit of, is that pink? That's more of a red. That's pink. Yep. A little bit of shading and shadowing. Then let's give Mr. over there. We're going to do, yeah, we'll do blue, I guess. I was going to, no, let's do gray. Let's do gray. 2 shades of gray. Do a light and a dark. Okay. Pants, let's give her some light blue with the pink. Give her a little matchy outfit. And we'll give him gray. And let's give him some aqua-ish pants because he's got his winter snow pants on. Give him some pants. Yeah, we'll go with those 2, I think. Those will work. Okay, so let's just start pink puffy coat. So what I want to do, I'm not putting much pressure down here at all, and I'm just, oh, I'll zoom in. Okay, I'm just following around the edge first to create my color of all these lines. Not a whole lot of pressure on this at all. Now I'm going to move back on my pencil so I don't get pressure, and I'm just lightly using the edge of that pigment, very lightly filling that in. Now I'm going to give a little bit of pressure on these edges to pull that color in for a little darkness, because I'm going to add the shading in here. When you're using this on the back side of the pencil, it's easier to rotate the image than it is to try to rotate your hand and pencil. Okay, just get that bottom edge a little bit. Perfect. Okay, we'll do the same thing on this side. I'm going to go trace around my edge first, all around my lines. So, I'm going to move back, very light, and I actually pulled that tracing in just a little bit, and this side's a little smaller, so I'm not going to do as much with a little extra pressure around the edge here, like so. Now I'm going to take that dark, and I'm going to move back to, I don't want to put a lot of pigment down, so I'm moving back and just keeping it very light. It feels weird when you do this the first time when you move back on the pencil on control, because you feel like you got to get up close to the end and the paper. It gives you a different kind of control, and you just got to get used to when you need to do this and when you don't need to do this. And this is just, I don't want this to get too colored looking. And I like leaving a little bit of this texture. I'm not going to use my blending stump or my blending pencil, because this set comes with a blending pencil. I'm going to leave this organic. I'm just going around the edge and throwing in some shade. Not throwing down the shade, throwing in some shade. And there you have it. Just subtle, right? Just gives me just enough. Let's give her I did blue on her, didn't I? Actually, we're going to save the blue for the guy. We're going to go aqua on her. Okay, so here, I just moved back. Very light. I just want a little bit of color on her pants. And then I'm just going to shade a little darker. So just a little bit of color. All right. A little bit of pressure now here, and I'm just going to go and throw on some shading here. On these edges. Keeping this kind of organic. Just enough to give her a little something. A little darker probably here at the waist a little bit. That's it. That's all I want to do. Okay. We're going to go gray on top here for him. So same thing. I'm going to go through and lightly, I'm not back as far, but I'm still back on that pencil because I don't want this too dark. And I'm just throwing down some gray. That's it. Now we're going to use this to shade. Coming in just a little bit closer. Not a lot of pressure still, but it's a little bit extra. And wherever he's going to have some shadowing, some wrinkling of that coat. Just a little bit. Sometimes these simple things are harder to do in our head than what we really need to, but it can be the funnest at the same time. That's all I want to do for that. Let's do the blue. So I'm going to throw down this light blue. Same, very, very light. I'm back on that back end of the pencil again, so I don't put a lot of pressure on here. And then I'll shade just like I did with her. Same, same, same. Now I'm going to take that blue, moved in a little closer so I can put a little bit of extra pressure. And the shading here where it needs to go. We'll throw a little crease up in there. A little bit extra here at the waist because that's where it's going to be shadowing from his jacket. That's it. Let's give him a matching but darker blue. No, not that one. I'm just going to color him with a dark blue. So I'm going to just lightly with my dark blue. I'm going to use the same color to shade and color. So just light and then put some pressure down. Boom. Oh, she had her earmuffs, so she's got to have matchy-matchy, so we'll give her matching earmuffs to there. We'll just take and put a little pinky cheeks there. He's got to have a matchy-matchy hat. And I'm using some light and harder pressure to shade that. And of course, matchy-matchy gloves, because he looks like he's wearing gloves. Mittens. She is not, so let's just give her a little pink on there. And let's just go a simple dark I'm gonna just go dark, put lots of pressure on this so I get a dark gray on the skates. Easy peasy. Easy coloring on this for sure. Okay, I'm going to fussy cut these two out, and then we're going to assemble and do a sentiment. Okay, you can see I have fussy cut these little skaters out. I didn't fussy cut right up to the line. It was easier because these are so small, just to leave a little white edge on them, so, and just do a border. So I left that little border. Now, this is going to go on my flap, like so, with them skating. So I just need to kind of place, I didn't know if this would fit or not, so actually this will fit right on my whole flap with them skating and not be hanging over. So let me just place them on here skating. And then I decided that I'm going to do my sentiment on the inside. I think it'll look best rather than trying to fit it on my ice skating rink. I think this looks better just as a scene, and it's not often I will put my sentiments inside. I like to leave those blank typically, but I think this works much better putting it on the inside. Okay, so then this will just go right on that flap. And there you have your hinge card. So the idea is hinge, open and open, closed, you've got a full scene. You can see how that now that tree extends over, right? That was the purpose of using this scene card. You can use any designer's paper you want, any paper you want. With the scene card though, I wanted it to match. So then I'm just going to add my sentiment right to the inside. And we have got ourselves an awesome hinge card. I'm going to tuck it this way actually. And I decided I'm going to go with, I think it was to the coolest person I know. Because who wouldn't be ice skating with you in the middle of freezing winter except the coolest person you know? And we're just going to go simple black for my sentiment. I like VersaFine for these smaller print sentiments. Very simple on the inside too when you open it. Just this simple statement. Check that out. Check that out. Inspiration box. We pretty much used most contents of that inspiration box on this card. So we had that one. And then we started out with our very simple stencil from that inspiration kit. So there you have it. 2 cards for you out of the inspiration box. Hopefully this gets you some ideas. Check out the inspiration box. I'll put the link to the next one in the description below. That'll be my collab link, just so you know. So I do get a little kickback on that, but it's no cost to you. And again, I just wanted to feature these inspiration boxes because they're fun. They've got a great grouping of product, 6x8 stamp always, coordinating paper always, card bases, and cardstock always, and then any coordinating product. Could be glazes, could be glitter, could be, you know, this month was those papers that you can use for the rink. So hopefully this inspires you to look through your stash even and see what you can make. Try this hinge card. It's really super easy and they're kind of fun. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for hanging with me. Appreciate you all checking out my channel and my videos and supporting me more than you know. And until next time, I'll see you then.